New York baseball is back for at least one team as of right now. We dodged some scary injuries with Justin Fields. We'll get more to that. Overreactions, valid reactions coming later in the episode. Are the snake sellers? They're sellers. The snakes are dead. But all that and more right here. No Good Takes. Jeremy Horowitz, Giuseppe Oliveri. It all starts right now. Jeremy, welcome back. Episode 14, baby.
Yeah, good to be here on a Thursday morning.
It was almost as good as a Tuesday morning. I had a late Wednesday night at the Big Time Rush concert, which was fun. A little too long for my liking. That show, they came on before 9 o'clock. They got off at 10:45, and I'm all for the long concerts, but there was a portion of that concert where they were sitting with Gustavo Rock. He came back out. He's playing the piano, and they were just like talking to him for such a long time. Like, obviously for the show of the fans, but dude, you want to talk about 30 to 45 minutes we're never going to get back? That was it right there.
Yeah, it sounds like a huge waste of time. I'm glad I didn't go. I played Green Dogs baseball instead.
How'd you boys do?
We won. We won game one, 5-2, and we hit Michael Craig hit a walk-off double. In game two, we won 7-6.
You know what Michael Craig is right there? That's Hofstra pride, baby.
Yes, that's hot. That's the pride of Hempstead.
That's the pride. And I went to Brett Beatty Day, by the way, the other day. And I made my Brett Beatty sign. I was holding it up in the nosebleeds of the 500s. I don't know where it is or where I put it. My mom must have moved it. She must have seen it and thought it was the biggest piece of trash in the world. I don't blame her. But we came. He had a double on Brett Beatty Day. It was nice. He had a nice defensive play on Brett Beatty Day. They won also absolutely massive. So I don't know what they did last year, but he wasn't number 7 last year. So this is the first annual Brett Beatty Day. So 1-0.
Brett Beatty Day.
So I'm excited for next year's. I'll be there. 7/22. Save the date. But we got to open up the show with some scary news, potentially scary news. Not as bad as what we thought it was going to be, but Justin Fields carted off walking gingerly on his, I forgot what foot it was already, but
right foot.
Though.
Yeah.
Right foot.
Yeah. I just got a tweet from Connor Hughes. Per Rappaport, it's a dislocated toe.
Oh, a dislocated toe, not turf toe anymore.
Not nearly as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was Achilles right away when I heard the right cleat was off. Now we're just hoping there's no surgery needed, because if he can play for the Jets this year, that would be really nice. Because I mean, everything looks so good. Obviously, one day into camp, everyone's like, the vibes are kind of high. It's kind of a new culture with the team. Everyone is kind of like all in. It feels like, and it feels like for the first time in a while, a New York sports team's kind of under the radar, and right back into day two, they're the talk of the NFL, and it's never a good thing when the Jets are the talk of the NFL. It's always something negative, and obviously Justin Fields goes down, and as soon as he went down, they ended that part of practice. They moved on to special teams. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but I guess on the positive side of things, it's not an Achilles, it's not turf toe, it's only a dislocated toe, which again, I've never had one of those, so I don't know the severity of it.
I didn't even know you could dislocate a toe.
Yeah,
that's the first time I heard of it.
Yeah, that's I didn't even know it was a thing. Hopefully, he's not out for too long. I mean, I'm assuming at least a couple months, if no surgery is needed. But I guess it's Tyrod Taylor season, unless they want to call on Kirk Cousins.
Kirk, the man. I don't know about – you said all in. This is my beef with Justin Fields. I'm not a big Fields believer. I just feel like that this is a guy who continues to get chances, and we keep on using the moniker around his name that not put in the right system, not given the fair shot. And look, I'm not going to debate that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Chicago Bears system is one of the best with quarterbacks. It's notorious that they go there. I remember Caleb Williams and his dad, they tried to get him away from the Bears. They didn't want him to play there. I don't blame them. But it's just been such a long period of time with Fields now, and how the whole situation went down with the Steelers. That was basically his job to lose, and he lost it. I just don't believe in give this guy more chances. I know the Jets rental, it's a great signing for them. It's a low risk, high reward situation for where the Jets are at right now. but I just can't envision him playing a fully healthy season and being the kind of needle mover that moves the Jets at least close to a playoff spot. I think he's still a mid-tier to low-range quarterback. There's still too many glaring problems on this New York Jets team. There's a lot of future pieces that I love, and the next 2 to 3 years are, in my opinion, going to determine where they end up being for the next 5 to 6 after that. But Justin Fields is a great rental option, a great bridge guy to get you to where you need to go. But by no means do I believe that he is going to be the guy that gets it done for the Jets.
No, and I agree with that too. Um, I think you put it perfectly. He's a mid-tier guy. I think he's anywhere from probably like 18 to 14 in the league, which honestly I'm cool with that with the Jets. I don't know the last time we had a guy like that. So that's an upgrade from pretty much anyone I've seen throw a football for the New York Jets, and that I guess includes Aaron Rodgers because I know his numbers were pretty decent last year, but watching him play every Sunday, it wasn't pretty. So I think the move to Fields is great, like you said, low risk, high reward. It's only a 2-year deal. It's cheap. And I think, if you're going to bring in a new head coach, new GM, new coordinators, I think it's also a good move to bring in a new quarterback, bring him in and just completely start fresh. I think the moves they're making, that make sense. Are they, needle movers? I don't necessarily think so. Could Justin Fields turn into some, insane dual threat quarterback? Potentially, but he only has really 2 weapons, maybe 3 if you count Braylon Allen. You have Garrett, you have Brees, and again, maybe Allen. But a wide receiver 2 is still Alan Lazard. You have Josh Reynolds. They drafted the kid, I think Arian Smith. I forget what college he went to. But again, this team is not going to be competing for a playoff spot this year. But I think the moves they are making, like re-signing Sauce and Garrett, they're moves to show that they're moving in the right direction. It's going to be a long, thought-out process, but I'd rather have some sense of direction because the past 21 years of my life, there hasn't been any direction. So I appreciate what the new regime is doing so far. And again, it's only July, but what I've seen so far, I've been a fan of.
Do you think that Brees Hall is going to be the odd man out in terms of he's going to go? Because we know how the running back is valued, even though Saquon and Derrick Henry did bring a little more value back to the position the past season. But if he wants a big deal, you got to remember that you still obviously need a quarterback to sign. That the money prioritizing is going to have to go there in the next 2 or 3 years. And whether that is Justin Fields, who is your guy, but either way, you're going to have to pay him more if you want him around for the long haul. So I really don't see a world where Brees comes back to the Jets. And I don't think it's a bad thing either because you do have your 2 guys that you wanted.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it's tough, especially because the way running backs are looked at nowadays, you're not a Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry. I mean, I think Brees is in the second tier of running backs. I think he's really, really good. We also have to remember he tore his ACL, and I don't think he's ever necessarily going to be the same guy he was before that. Yeah, he still is a great running back. He still is so great out of the pass game, out of the backfield, and he can still, hit the gap just as good as anyone in the league. But I think he's just not – I don't think he can reach that top-tier speed that he once was able to. And like you said, running backs aren't valued nearly as high as any other position in the NFL. And they also have Braylon Allen, who's 21 years old. He's a mammoth of a human being. And and they have Isaiah Davis too, who's our running back 3, and they seem to like him. It'd be a nice dual threat with Allen and Davis in the future. Obviously, Brees Hall, love to have him around, but I don't think it's going to work out money-wise, especially they just extended both Sauce and Garrett to the big money contracts they got. I don't think Brees is going to get that. If he wants to take a pay cut to stay, that's cool. I love him. I think he's a great player, but in the long run of things, like you said, they need a quarterback. They still don't have a wide receiver 2. The linebacking core is kind of weak. There's other areas of need on the Jets roster, which, that's every year. But there's definitely other areas of need in the future besides the running back position.
And we'll give him credit, too, for what he's had to deal with behind the Jets offensive line that has been less than ideal for really since he's gotten to the NFL. He's done good, and he's been a very serviceable running back, and it's not to bash Brees Hall, who, in my opinion, has been outstanding for the Jets. Obviously, not turning any heads with that, but money's got to go elsewhere. It's unfortunate, but it's true. The running back is probably the most replaceable position. If you have a good offensive line, which the Jets don't, but we'll get there one day.
Hopefully.
If you have a good offensive line, you can make any running back, as long as he doesn't run like he's got bricks on his feet, look good. And unfortunately for Brees Hall, he'll go find success elsewhere, I'm sure. But in terms of your valuable and who you wanted to pay, it was definitely Garrett, Wilson, and Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, Sauce, in my opinion, is best corner in the league, and Garrett, the top 10, top 15 receiver, who's only going to get better. So those are the two guys you got to allocate the money to. And I think Brees probably has a year, maybe 2 years on his contract left. Uh, Listen, they're not going to be competing for a Super Bowl at MetLife Stadium in that time frame. Potentially not even going to be competing for a playoff spot. Listen, if they go out and they win 6 games this year, like that, does it suck for the draft pick? Yeah, but I guess I'm kind of happy with it because again, first year with Aaron Glenn and his staff. Um, Pretty much a weak division. Like I think they could, theoretically, they could finish second in the division this year if things go their way. If a lot of things favor the Jets this year, but again, that also means they have to win games, and that hasn't been something they've known how to do really since ever. So
Hey, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2015. That was a
yeah,
fun Jets team.
dude, I was at Jets Pats Week 17 at MetLife. My first Jet game ever. I think this is what got me hooked on the Jets. I went to OT, the Patriots deferred. Fitzpatrick threw the ball to Decker in the back of the end zone, and then
Eric
had to
Decker.
go win in Buffalo Week 18 to make the playoffs. Fitzpatrick threw 4 picks, and they lost.
And the Bills were just
They were horrible.
middle of the pack.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
they were so bad.
Yeah, they were under 500, I think. Or they were right there, but they were not good at all.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick threw 4 picks against a bad Bills team, and of course, division game Week 18. It's any division game, regardless of who's playing. It's always going to be a good game, and that's what they got. It just sums up the Jets. But yeah, that game Week 17, 2015, that's what kind of made me fall in love with the New York Jets. And I guess I kind of blame Ryan Quinn for that because he took me to the game, so it's probably his fault.
That's good. We could blame Quinn. We could always blame Quinn. All right, so just so we have that out of the way, now we go to the actual baseball news. We'll start with the Mets, who had a very, very good series against the Angels. You ready for this, Jeremy? Because they swept the Angels. And with the whole June soon and how iffy they've been in July, I was just thinking to myself, when's the last time the Mets swept a series? It was over a month ago. June 12th against Washington was the last time the Mets swept a series.
Now,
so this feels great.
Do you know that how many in that month and change spent, how many series they've won? Obviously, they didn't sweep since then, but do you know if the series, the series they won and lost?
I should have counted that. Well, they won. I don't even remember the last time they won a series now. Oh, the Yankees. The last series they won was probably the Yankees. No, that feels too long ago. That feels too long. But again, what was it? A few days ago, they were 10-30 and 10-20 in their last 30. So, I mean, it's not unheard of. It wouldn't be shocking, but huge win for the Mets. Sean Manaea looks great. He's really, really looking comfortable out there. He had an iffy second inning, but nothing that he wasn't able to get by. And Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. Mike said it on one of his videos that he made for BTO a while ago. When Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor get going, this team gets going. It's a blessing and a curse for the Mets. If these two are hot, the Mets are unstoppable. But if these two are cold, like obviously Lindor's just snapped his 0-for-30 stretch yesterday, it's hard to watch. The offense runs off of these two guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of go with Alonso. I think that's kind of how the team is. That's kind of their identity. If Alonso's hot, the team's going to perform well offensively. If he's not, then they're going to struggle because, again, that's your guy batting fourth. You can only go as far as him. If he's not hitting, you're going to have to rely on guys lower down the lineup like Jeff McNeil and Tyrone Taylor and before Alvarez came back, it was like Luis Torrens. They're not going to come up with big hits and big spots to drive guys in. So you have to just kind of play long ball or bust. At that point, you have to hope guys in the top of the lineup like Nimmo, Lindor, Soto can just jack balls out of the stadium. And if they can't do that, it's going to be real tough to win if Alonso's not hitting well. But, I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday. It feels like the Mets are kind of getting hot at the right time. All three of them. Lindor hitting to a lot of hard outs. Soto has been one of the best hitters since June. And, I mean, Alonso, obviously yesterday, big 3-run homer. I think that's ended up being the difference in the game. They won 6-3, right? So I think it kind of sounds like those three guys are finally all clicking at the right time.
They're getting out. Brandon Nimmo with the leadoff home run yesterday. So if I had to assume, barring any Brandon Nimmo massive slump or an injury, knock on wood, that these guys all stay healthy, Mets and Yankees, to the end of the season, that Nimmo, that's his leadoff spot. I don't think Lindor is going to see that spot again. But it gets interesting for me because I said it in a post I made. I really want to see Soto back in the 2-hole. Lindor, historically batting 3, has pretty good numbers. He's batting around 280. I think it's 277. It's not knock your socks off stuff, but if you want your best hitter to be in the 2 spot, that is Juan Soto, then the conversation of protection comes into play, because who's protecting who more? Is Soto protecting Lindor? Is Lindor protecting Soto? It's the other way around. Soto protecting Lindor in the 3 hole definitely makes more sense, but there's been some big spots in the Mets skids where the 2 hole has come up, and it's been combinations of Starling Marte, Brandon Nimmo, Mark Vientos in some odd appearances. And even Lindor in his recent stretch of his 0 for 30 slump. And down the stretch of the season, Mets and Phillies, this division's probably getting decided in the last 2 or 3 days of the season. I want my best guy in those big spots, and I think that's Juan Soto.
Yeah, I think he's one of, if not one of the best hitters in baseball. His eye is unmatched, and I mean, like we talked about the other day, like his bat is never gonna go. Like the last thing to go is the bat speed. Juan Soto is a generational talent. Regardless if I like him anymore or not, I think he's a generational baseball player. There's never gonna be another guy just like him. So if you have him coming up in your in the biggest spots, because I think your best hitter either hits second or third in your lineup. And it's a good problem to have. You don't necessarily know where you want to put him right now. I mean, still, I know it's late July, but they have so much time to figure things out. And like again, they're Lindor, Alonso, sort of are all getting hot together. It feels like, so you can kind of mix and match, see what works. And I mean, I like Mendoza. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a good guy to have around for the clubhouse. I think he's a good players manager. As second year being a manager, I think he's doing a really good job. At least he's good with the offense, and I think that's what the Mets kind of have to focus on, because their pitching is always good. Obviously, you're going to go through ebbs and flows of an MLB season, but the Mets pitching has always been like their strong suit. It's been their lineup that has been the question mark for years, and I think being able to mix and match those 2 or 3 guys at the top of the order, that'll really help them out going into the last 2.5 months of the year.
Yeah, and I'm not concerned about the bullpen. Obviously, I stated my case on Mendoza. I think he's had a bad time managing what he's been given. Yeah. But I think Brooks Raley coming back helps you in a huge way. You finally have that lefty where you don't need to rely on Ryan Stanek or some other mid-reliever guy to eat the lefty portion of a lineup. And just, again, the deadline. You're going to get at least some sort of decent arms at the deadline. And with how Stearns is operating, I don't know if I love it this late, but if you want to keep prospects, you want to keep your guys, he's probably going to target some low-end guys with some shaky numbers with really good metrics, and just hope that the pitching lab can work on them and hope that you get the better half of their season, which I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. It's happened for the past year and a half now since Stearns came in. But with the lineup, obviously, I'd love Soto batting 2. If it's a lefty on the mound, you can't go Nimmo Soto, so I understand splitting them up there. But in terms of the Mets as a whole right now, I feel great about them. And you can say what you want about your top 4 guys, because when October comes around, I have no doubt that they're going to be ready to go. Yeah. But what I've seen from Brett Beatty, in all seriousness, what I've seen from Francisco Alvarez since coming back, and I'm a big Mauricio guy, and even Mark Vientos, who has really been struggling all season. Been hitting the ball harder, hit a double yesterday, even though he completely sabotaged any chance he had a sting on the bases, getting thrown out at third. And did you see that play, by the way? It was...
I wasn't able to watch. I was with my brother, my grandma, and Victoria. We were getting lunch, and I had the game on my phone. I was checking the score on Reel, but I couldn't actually watch the game.
This pissed me off. So Vientos is on second. There's 1 out in the inning. And it's a ground ball to his left side. So obviously what you're taught in baseball, ground ball to your left side, you go on anything. But he doesn't know where his guy is behind him. Shortstop's right behind him. He picks it up. All he had to do is take a step over to his left. And Vientos runs. Like he's got something so far up his butt, man. He's got to be the slowest player for his age I've ever seen. And they go to third, no problem. 2 things. You got to know where your shortstop is behind you. And you got to know your own speed. You need to know if that ball isn't 100% getting to the outfield, you are gunned at third. And that's exactly what happened. So I think it was, I don't even know who hit into the fielder's choice. Maybe it was Beatty. Maybe it was safe on first, whatever. That pissed me off. But even Vientos is hitting a little better now. And these young guys, man, if Alvarez and Beatty especially can get going, then it takes more pressure off of the Mets front office to go and get a bat. Obviously, you still want a center fielder ideally, but it takes more pressure off of you because you're lengthening out the lineup. If Francisco Alvarez can have his big stretch, Brett Beatty at home has been really good. On the road, he's been next to unplayable. So this road stretch is going to be huge for Brett Beatty to see what he can do. And then Vientos and Mauricio need to be serviceable for you. And then I feel really, really good about this team all of a sudden. More pressure gets taken off. But I'd still love some center field help. I'd still love a guy in center.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can reunite with Harrison Bader. I'm sure he'd be a nice cheap option for him. He's great defensively, but I don't know how much of an improvement his bat is from Tyrone Taylor or Jeff McNeil.
Last thing you need.
Yeah, isn't Tyrone hurt right now, or he's just like not playing because it hasn't McNeil been in center field?
He's been coming in as a defensive substitution.
Oh, okay.
He's been unplayable. And Joe, by the way, our friend Joe said something. He goes, if Tyrone Taylor had like an average bat, he'd be considered like an elite player. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. And I understand the argument of, well, you can't take Taylor out if his defense is so good. But if you have so many guys in the lineup who aren't hitting, you can't use that argument. I'd rather take a subpar center fielder for a really good bat. And the names Jared Duran have yet to go away. Luis Robert is still a name that's getting popped up, which I am terrified of Luis Robert coming to the Mets.
Yeah, and he's getting hot too. His numbers over the past 2 weeks are off the charts.
It's just injury prone, man. He's a 5-tool player. And
injury prone in the Mets don't ever work well.
I mean, look, the best case, Jed Lowry in the 2020 season, he came off of his stud year with the A's, and I think he had maybe 5 at-bats with the Mets in a year.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
How could you remember it? Like, it's if you're not a Mets fan, it's forgettable.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I hate to be the guy, and I'm just going to say it and get it out of the way. Who would be a perfect fit in center field right now for the Mets? Someone who they had? PCA. Would be great right now.
Yeah. Well, if they never get rid of him, he wouldn't have developed into anything. They would have got rid of him anyway.
That would be the Mets' luck.
Yeah,
that would be the Mets' luck.
That's what you got to tell yourself. I do that with the Yankees prospects too. Like all the guys they trade away. Well, they don't trade away prospects, but the ones they do, like Caleb Durbin, like I like that. I'm just telling myself, if we had him, we wouldn't have been able to make him into anything anyway. So let him go have success elsewhere.
I always said it. I'd rather a former player on my team be good for somebody else than bad for us.
Yeah.
That's just my delusional way of thinking about it. But, yeah, I really do like where the Mets are at right now. Obviously, you still need a lot of help. I would love another arm in the rotation, even though right now how the whole team stands. Bullpen's got to come first. You have plenty of guys who just continue to go to the IL. And Jose Budo finally returned, which was huge. He had a rough outing, though. He only went 2/3 of an inning. But, look, it's its first game back in a while. I'm fine with it. It takes these guys a little long to get into a groove. So be it. Do it in July. Don't be having these mishaps in September. But with the entirety of the Mets, I like where they are right now. So
yeah, I agree. If I'm a Met fan, I feel like they're in a good spot.
Feel good. Phillies lose last night. Mets are a half game up on the Phils in the East. Again, that's going to come down to the last.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the series they play with each other, which I'm sure is late in the year.
It's not even worth looking at right now. Yankees news.
Bad. Everything's bad.
Not good. This is a problem. I'm going to come off the bat and say right now, I am upset with how Aaron Boone is handling the media. What he said last night?
Yeah,
last night,
we're very good defensive.
I think we have a very good defensive club. That's the exact quote that he used. And look, I'm not asking him to sit there and bash players, name specific, but you're living in a world of delusion right now.
Yeah, it's brutal.
What kind of message are you sending to your clubhouse? Light a fire under their ass. I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but the fact that you're coming out to the media and defending this team, and I'm not saying bash them, but I'm saying you got to criticize a little bit. You got to say it how it is. And another thing, you know what I really didn't like, Jeremy? That he got thrown out. You are 3 games back to the Blue Jays at the time of that game. This is a big game for your club, and they are looking bad defensively again. And you get thrown out. I want my manager on the bench with me. I don't want him getting thrown out. The hell does that say? Keep a level head, Boone. Bad calls happen. You got thrown out 4 times already this year. Keep a level head. Why is it that you on the field you can be such a fireworks explosion character, but when it comes to the media, you're so quick to defend these guys and coddle them and say nothing's wrong with our defense? This is a problem. Aaron Boone addressing the media, Aaron Boone getting thrown out of games in such a big game like that is a problem.
I think the bigger problem is that he's signed through 2027 or 2028, and I agree. He coddles his players, which I'm all for, defending your guys. I totally get it. I mean, I coach too. Like, I'm never gonna bash one of the kids I'm coaching and say anything bad about them. I'm gonna try to defend them, but I'm gonna call it how it is. If a kid can't feel the ground ball, we're not gonna play him at shortstop anymore. But in my case, we have like a 20-man roster where it's kind of interchangeable. The Yankees don't have a backup shortstop. So, or a backup third baseman. They don't have a third baseman. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the one time I've seen Boone get fired up that wasn't on the field was Tuesday when he was on the call with John Boy and Jake, and he was freaking out. And they were talking, do you think like you're being a little too defensive of the guys? Do you think you're not really being, you think you're over defensive and that's drawing more light to the situation? Meanwhile, you're trying to bring everyone away from Volpe and his defensive woes. And he goes, I don't care what you think. I don't care. Listen, we got a good team. We're a good defensive club, like he said last night. And it just doesn't make any sense. And I agree. It's a huge game last night. You cannot get thrown out of that game. You have to keep a level head. And that's his whole MO. He's a player's manager. He's going to ride and die for his guys, which again, I am all for. But there's a way to go about that. Like with them, when Meredith Marakovitz comes to you and says, is there an issue defensively with Anthony Volpe or with the Yankees in general? And you say, no, we're a good defensive club. That's almost like Zach Wilson. And for those of you who don't know, I'm wearing my Zach Wilson Broncos jersey right now. That's like Zach Wilson 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they lost 9-3 to the Patriots. And he said, do you think you let the defense down? And he said, no. It's the same thing. Like, it's just an asinine comment. It makes absolutely no sense. It's brutal to be not only a fan of the Yankees, but a fan of baseball. Because, I mean, it's the Yankees. It gets out to everyone who cares about the game of baseball. Everyone knows what's going on in New York. Everyone knows that they can't play defense. And everyone knows that they have a manager who is too scared to say anything bad about his players. He coddles guys, Anthony Volpe especially, and it's just not right. Like, again, I'm cool with defending your players and trying to let everyone know like you got their back. But when they make a mistake over and over and over again, do something about it. Like, criticize them, because I think that would again light a fire under their ass and make it seem like, what, we're doing something wrong. Let's fix it, instead of, oh, Boone thinks it's okay. Let's just keep doing what we're doing.
I mean, if I sat down with Aaron Boone right now, he cannot tell me with a straight face how this team has played defensively, that they can hang with the Tigers, the Astros. We just saw firsthand they can't hang with the Toronto Blue Jays. What do you think the Rays are going to do to you if they make the playoffs? The Red Sox. These are defensively sound teams. These are guys that know the game plan. The Dodgers called them out in it after the World Series last year. Put the ball in play. It's not we hope they make the mistakes. It's we guarantee you they will make the mistakes. And again, Jeremy and I aren't sitting here calling out for Boone to say Anthony Volpe sucks to the media, to say Jason Dominguez can't field a fly ball to the media. We're just saying that, yeah, have your players take accountability. And I watched the whole press conference, and I know that he did say that they weren't good, but he said that night they weren't good. He was disappointed in them that night. Okay. What about every other time? This isn't the first time. This has been a problem for over a year now. This is the headline with the Yankees. This is not a good defensive club. And the same question, Jeremy, is going to come up come October. God forbid Trent Grisham hits a really bad slump. It's going to be the same conversation we're having with Tyrone Taylor. You can't take him out of the lineup. He's too good defensively. But what bats are you going to have?
Have 5 automatic outs. Doesn't really matter.
And this brings me to my next question for you. Because with the Diamondbacks that are basically set to sell, with Eugenio Suarez, who is going to be one of the Yankees' biggest options at the deadline, if not the biggest, they might have to pivot. Because
I don't think
Thank
he's
you.
the move. I'm sorry to cut
He's
you off.
not. No, of course he's not good defensively.
No.
And I mean, if you only had one or two guys on defense that were really bad, and you could justify, you know what, we could eat it at third,
Yeah,
but you
like
can't.
if it's like your first baseman and like your left fielder, okay, fine. Because again, like how many ground balls really go to first base, and like how athletic, like every good team has a good left fielder and a good first baseman defensively. Now, are the Yankees a good team? I don't know, but when your shortstop and your third baseman can't field ground balls, you're not going to win many baseball games. And if they're going to go dump the farm system for a guy who's again a 1 year rental and doesn't help them defensively, yes, he is a huge power bat which will help any lineup, but he is almost just as bad defensively. It doesn't really help because every run he's creating on offense, he's pretty much just taking away defensively because he can't. He's just not average enough to play defense. And Boone was talking last night, like, yeah, no, like we're usually pretty good defensively, but in this building this year, we haven't been good. It's I don't know if it. Like, he goes, like, I'm not going to blame the turf. That's not an excuse. Nothing's an excuse. They're at a major league level. Field a ground ball. They can't field balls that aren't right at them. That's the Yankees' problem. And if they bring in Suarez, I don't see anything getting fixed defensively. And if they're going to go dump the farm for him, it doesn't make any sense. It like you can't get rid of Spencer Jones. You can't get rid of Lombard. Like these are guys you can't part with right now because you're just be torching your future for a guy who's a 1 year rental. They're not winning the World Series this year. It just doesn't make any sense. You can't go after Suarez right now. You're not in a position to go do that.
This is where we sit on Suarez right now. He's a 34-year-old third baseman, not under contract, I believe, next year. And he's been hot, don't get me wrong, but with how many glaring holes this team has, and look, there's going to be a lot of suitors out there for Suarez, and the Brewers might be the most desperate team for a guy like that. And the Brewers are a team that are so good defensively that you could put Suarez in third and say, screw it.
You can even
If he
DH.
gives us the 36 home runs and we have everybody else in this field that we are confident in, screw it. We'll take that bullet. We'll bite that bullet. And if you're Brian Cashman in the New York Yankees, you really got to say to yourself, if the Diamondbacks demand a Spencer Jones in this trade, is it worth it?
Not at all.
I don't think it is. He's
Not
an
at all.
untouchable.
Yeah,
He's an
he
untouchable.
homered again last night. I just saw a tweet. He just homered last night. He's taking home runs. I saw a tweet again last night from Katie Sharp. Aaron Judge this season has 3 home runs in a 6th inning or later to tie the game. They've lost all 3 of those games. Last night, the one in Boston, of Crochet when they're down 1-0.
Right.
And I forget the first one. It was in like late June. But
Did you see their record with if 5 or more runs are scored against them in a game? They're like 8-28, I think, or some crazy record like that if they've let up 5 or more runs.
Yeah. I mean, Max Fried has let up 17 runs in like his last 4 starts. He hasn't been nearly as good as he was in the beginning of the year, but also now he was out with a blister or whatever. I think there's a bigger underlying issue there that they don't want to let out. Like, if it's just a blister, just sit him until it goes away.
There was blood on his hand last night.
Yeah.
They took him out of the game. He was bleeding from his finger. And they asked Boone, like, was it the blister? And he goes, blister? No, what blister? I hate when they play dumb. Like, we know it. Like, I don't know what you're trying to hide from us.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
He's going to go to the IL. Say he's going to go to the IL.
Yeah.
Because keeping a Yankees fan calm right now doesn't change the fact he's going to the IL in a few days. I'm not saying he will. He could be in his next start. But it's just there's something so obvious. Everybody saw it. At least address it. At least acknowledge it.
Yep. I mean, I almost rather him go to like the 10-day or 15-day IL, whatever it is. Just don't do anything until your hand's not blistered anymore.
Yeah, and again, this could all be coming from upper management. A Boone, just hear your lines, say them.
Yeah,
don't go into any detail. Like we don't know what he could be hearing, but as a fan and as people who cover it, it's just very frustrating. It's a frustrating thing with Carlos Mendoza. I've never seen him come to the media and try and hide something and try to brush something aside. David Stearns legitimately came out to the media and said, hey, like our infield depth, these young guys, if the opportunity presents itself, like they could go. Like they're open to everything. I love the honesty. I
That's how it should.
love my guys coming up to the podium and being honest and shooting it to us straight.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a Scooby Doo mystery. Like there's no
It always is.
Yeah, there's no reason for me like that.
Okay, so for the Yankees now, and one last Suarez topic that I really do want to talk about because there could definitely be the conversation. Aaron Judge over his last 5 games or so. I had the numbers up. I can't believe I put them away. Let me see if I can find them really quick. Aaron Judge, the point is he's been slumping. Like Judge has been, and look, everybody slumps. You're allowed to slump. I'm not sitting here and saying this is the end of the world. And of course, come October, Aaron Judge is still going to be outstanding. Here we go. Aaron Judge's last 25 at bats. He's batting 160 with a 676 OPS. There can definitely be the conversation made that he just doesn't have the good enough protection to go and win a World Series. And Suarez would hypothetically bring that.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's tough because say who's protecting Suarez? Goldschmidt, Dominguez. Like when no one's on base for Judge, you go right after him. You just attack him. Like Judge is great, but he can't hit a high velocity fastball and he can't hit a wipeout slider. So, like, if there's no one on base, just go get him. You know what I mean? And if there's anyone on base, just walk him like John Schneider does and pitch to the next idiot behind him because more likely than that, he's not getting a hit.
Well, they tried pitching to him last night.
Well, yeah.
That came back to bite him.
That home run ended up meaning nothing because they kick around the ball and throw it away. It's like they're trying to have a catch of the ball boy during the game.
And by the way, I talk about these defensive mishaps, and Cody Bellinger gets a pass for how good he's been all season long. It's not like a routine play where you're coming in and you just like it goes off the glove. Like he lost it. You're allowed to lose it. That happens.
He saved the season in Citi Field, so it's okay.
He saved the season in Citi Field. Right. I always forget about that. Clearly, the Yankees are playing like the season's been saved.
Yeah, well, the question is who saves it next? Because every night there's a new John Boy video or Talking Yanks video. It's like, oh, so and so saved the season. The other night was Ben Rice. On Saturday it was Trent Grisham.
I went to YouTube last night just go watch the Boone press conference, and on my suggested feed, this has got to be like an hour or two after the game ended for the Yankees. And John Boy already has up an hour-long video of like the loss of the season. The emergency podcast that they must have had to run to and get their equipment set up.
But they go live after every series finale, and it's usually long. It's about every game, pretty much everything that happened in every game they have written down or something. And they go over it. It's a really cool watch. I haven't watched that as much as I should, but like. And I couldn't even watch last night. I was actually playing last night. I was playing for the Green Dogs. I was having fun. But I know what happened. All I see is Yankees lose. Blue Jays scored 87,000 runs on errors. Anthony Volpe sucks. Like it's all I need to know. I know what's gonna happen before it happens.
It's just it's a mess right now for the Yankees, but they still have a lot of work to do. Defense is going to be a hell of a question for them. I think Cashman's in a hell of a spot right now with what he wants to do.
Yeah, like Brian Hayes would be a great defensive option, but he can't hit either.
Yeah.
Like I honestly think they have to just strip it down because it's the same thing every single year. They're like a step or two away from the top teams. They can never beat the top teams. They can never beat their own division. So I think you just strip it down. You keep Judge. You keep your intangibles, right? And everyone else, you just build it. You bring her in to build around them. You have to figure out how you can successfully get everything out of Aaron Judge. Obviously he's batting, around 350. He's got 30-something homers. Like he's Aaron Judge. We know what you're going to get out of him, but you have to find a way to build a team around him. And they haven't done that ever. I mean, last year's team was great. I loved it, but it's also much different when you have Juan Soto hitting in front of you.
Yeah.
When you don't have that, you have, Ben Rice or Paul Goldschmidt or Cody Bellinger or Jason Dominguez or Jazz Chisholm hitting in front of you. It's not nearly as intimidating.
It's not. It really is not. I'm not saying that they're not good. Like, they've been very good, but it's just not the same weight that it's going to hold. And if you're the Yankees, you could try and go a route of you get Brian Hayes, IKF, solid defensively, go and get a DH maybe somewhere, but then you have Stanton. What are you going to do with Stanton? You can't You can't justify bringing in some sort of outfielder because you like your outfield. I think the Yankees are pretty set on
Yeah.
Jason Dominguez, Trent Grisham, and obviously Aaron Judge. So third base, it realistically dictates the rest of the season. I really do. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't with the Yankees. Bring in
Yeah.
Suarez. You pray to God he doesn't boot you a ball in October. Bring in IKF. Bring in Cabrian Hayes. And you pray to God that some guys in
Yeah.
his lineup step up.
Yeah. Probably they learn how to hit, but I don't know, dude.
All right, so that's enough Yankees talk. There's a lot to talk about them right now. They're not in a good spot. All right, so let's just get to some other league-wide news real quick. Obviously, we talked about the Snakes. They should be selling. With a lot of surprises this season, obviously, the Tigers, no one had them being this good. The Orioles, people had them being bad. I don't think this bad. I mean, this is one of the biggest surprises of the season with the Diamondbacks. And somebody's to blame for this because the pitching staff this year has completely and utterly disrespected and diminished the kind of production that this lineup has put in and day out.
Yeah, it's sad, and I also think part of it is the injury bug with Corbin Burns going down pretty early in the year, but yeah, it's just some things didn't click with Arizona this year, and I don't really necessarily know what it is. Maybe they just weren't as good as everyone expected them to be. I know early on, like the bullpen was really, really bad. I think that's the big glaring issue was the bullpen and probably the back end of the rotation. But I don't have a definitive answer. But I guess who's to blame? Probably the front office. I guess for not really building up a pitching staff, building up a bullpen that is strong enough to compete at the major league level.
I mean, it's terrible because you can look at Torey Lovullo all you want, but only so much of it you can blame a manager for. I mean, we said it the other day. A manager has the least amount of weight to a game in the major four sports. You could manage a bullpen. You can manage your lineup. You could get defensive substitutions, pinch hitters. That's about it. And look, with Lovullo, what kind of hand was he dealt this season? That it felt like every single guy you went to in the bullpen was just going to blow it. I'll never forget the game against the Cubs earlier this year. The Diamondbacks put up 10 or 11 runs in an inning, and they lost the game. Do you know how crazy it is to blow a lead that big that late in a game? That means you have nobody out of that bullpen that you trust. And I love this, Jeremy. You know my rocks. I had to take it from you guys 2 years ago when they were in the World Series. I had to take it from you guys last year, even though they missed the playoffs. This feels good. I enjoy, and I don't know I'm a Diamondbacks hater. I'm just an avid Rocky supporter. But, I got to say, man, to all the Rockies haters in our group, suck it.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you're 1 game or 37 games out of a playoff spot. At the end of the day, you didn't make the playoffs.
You get, and I don't want to be that guy right now, Jeremy, but don't look now. Marlins are 6.5 games out of a wild card spot.
Yeah, I think they're going to make a run. I like them. It's a good team.
I mean, that would be a hit. Even if they finish 4 or 3 games out, just the fact that they made it that close is awesome. And maybe we'll get a packed out Lone Depot Park at the end of the year, something that we don't see for the Marlins. That'd be nice.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if you're ever going to get that place packed out. I don't know if that's a thing that happens.
I don't know if they have enough fans.
No one cares about baseball in Miami.
Nobody cares in Miami.
They care about
the
Heat. They care about the Hurricanes and the beach.
You want to talk about a team that lost so much aura? They had the coolest jerseys, the Florida Marlins, the teal, the pinstripe. They had Miguel Cabrera when he was a rookie. And they played in the football stadium, which I'm usually against, but I thought it was sick. I loved the colors. I loved how the stadium was set up. And now you go to lifeless Miami. You still had franchise guys that you ended up trading all of them away. And the bright green walls, which I loved, and I loved the home run statue. I used to enjoy when the Mets went to go play in Miami. I used to like watching the games there. And now it's just like this lifeless, dead establishment.
Yeah, it's bad. It's so boring.
Bad.
So boring.
They're boring. All right, that was just our little rant on the Marlins. One more team to keep an eye on. The Texas Rangers are 8-2 in their last 10, 1.5 games back of a wild card spot. This is finally a lineup that is like playing how they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Jacob deGrom being dealt at the deadline, and all of a sudden, if they're in it, like they might stick around for a run.
Yeah, that early on in the year, I know we talked on Tuesday. My pick in the NL Central to win that division. I thought the Rangers were going to be one of, if not the best team in the American League this year. I was totally sold on their pitching staff and their lineup. It's nice to see them get hot. I was sold on them in February and March, so I'm still sold on them now. I mean, it's tough to jump the Astros, but this Rangers team is good. Like they're legit, and I think we're gonna see that in the next. Gonna see that trend continue over the next 2.5 months.
I was never high on the Rangers going into the season just because the injury bug was such a big argument against the Rangers last year. And granted, a lot of your guys got injured, but your top guys who didn't get injured had really bad years. And with how injury prone these guys on the Rangers are, and just you needed a lot of different players to bounce back, I never saw the vision that everybody else saw. And I was proven right up until this point because now they're finally getting hot. But when you look at the standings in the American League right now, in the wild card, it's not like last year where you had a lot of teams fighting for the wild card spots, but you knew only so many of them were going to stick around to the end. Because right now in the wild card, you have the Yankees, Mariners, Red Sox. Okay, they'll be there to the end of the season. Tampa Bay, they'll be there to the end of the season. Texas is there right now. Cleveland has been on one hell of a run. I just haven't seen enough from them to be convinced that they'll be there till the end of the year.
Yeah.
The Royals, for 4.5 games out, I do think they'll somehow make some sort of noise. But you have really Tampa and everybody above them. So you're in basically a 5-team race right now. I just don't know if the Rangers can keep steam with these guys.
Yeah, I agree with that because they're such a hot and cold team that have been all year. But I mean, all it takes is a couple games to really go on a roll and start clicking with a lineup. I like them. I think they're a really good team, and I mean they won a game on Athletics dropped pop up last night, but they don't ask how many. And in the Rangers case right now, all they care about the number in front of the punctuation mark that is like a line. I don't know what it's called. Dash mark. They care about the number of the dash mark, not behind it.
There you go.
So if they have just more number, like a bigger number in front of the dash than behind it, they're gonna be all right.
That was good. That was a good lesson for everyone who doesn't understand baseball and standings. That was really well. That was nice.
That's what you come here for.
So the Rangers, I mean, I don't know. Look, then the question comes to you now. What do you do at the deadline? If you're a game and a half out, you can't sell.
No, I don't think you sell, but I don't necessarily know if you go out and buy a ton either. Like you can make these little moves that could, help out a little bit. But you're going with Seager, with Simeon and Garcia, Jonah Heim, and your pitching staff isn't bad. I mean, I don't necessarily love Patrick Corbin, but he hasn't been bad this year. I think he's due for some regression. Maybe you can go out and get, a mid to late starter and maybe a bullpen piece. But
yeah, it's so tough, Jeremy, because if you do that, you're basically like saying that you don't think you could hang with these guys, but you can't buy. You're not going to sell a future for an American League you were never a favorite in. I feel bad for these teams. I mean, the Mets were one of these teams last year where you just had to do a light buy, and it worked out with Jesse Winker and
I mean, if anyone besides Winker, little moves like that, they'll have a chance. Yeah, American League isn't very strong. You know what I mean? No. Like it's the Tigers and the Blue Jays right now, but like I don't know. Some of the Tigers in October doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why. Like the AL Central and the playoffs, they don't go together. So part of me is like, are they really gonna do anything come October, come playoff time? Listen, if the Yankees see any AL Central, if they make the playoffs, if they see any AL Central team, I think they'll win because they own the AL Central in the postseason. But anyone else, they have no chance against.
No, yeah, that record, by the way, but against the Central is nuts.
So good.
It's so good, but yeah,
they beat Cleveland and they beat Kansas City.
Yeah, that's all they do is run into them. Like AL Central teams run through New York.
The American League sucks.
How many years did we see the Yankees and Twins, and the Twins just felt like a guaranteed loss? Yeah.
I mean, they throw an Uber driver on the mound in Yankee Stadium like a must-win game.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of luck the Yankees would have. And then, oh yeah, go play the Astros now. Have fun.
Yeah. And after that, then it becomes
Yeah,
a
then
gauntlet.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to get to. I forgot to mention it when we were talking about the Mets. The Edwin Diaz at bat the other day where he threw everything was a ball. That was bad. That was
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that live. I was down in my room cleaning. I watched that live, and it's a perfect perfect time to go back to the discussion about the ABS system.
Yeah.
Because Rengifo could have went to his helmet any of those strike calls, and he would have been right. They weren't close. And I guess Alvarez was working on his framing while he was down in Syracuse, wherever he was. I think it was Syracuse. It was bad. That is like you kill an inning. Because that would have been sick to see Diaz, bases loaded. I think it would have been top of the order. I think it would have been Zach Neto coming up. That's a cool at bat. And then Mike Trout's waiting in the wings.
But Jeremy, outside of just that, and I have my opinion on that. I'll get to that in a minute. The Angels are not out of it yet.
No,
they're not 5 games back, and if you're able to come back, you're 4 games out of a wild card spot. Like these are big games for the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
You're in playoff mode now. So to get squeezed out of an inning, out of a game like that, just to salvage one in a series, that's bad. That is really bad umpiring. And my whole take on it right now, the ABS system would have been great there. But if I'm in the box, right, and let's do a little demonstration. I love doing demonstrations for you guys.
Yeah, I like this. This is fun.
I'll take off the headset, though. I can't reach that far.
That's okay.
If I'm in the box, right, and say this is my strike zone right here, move the camera down a little bit. There you go. That's good. That's better. Say I'm right here. Now you can't see me. Hold on.
That's probably good.
Jesus! Get my head in the frame! All right, whatever. Say this is my box, right? And I'm at the bat. I'm at the plate. Ball misses out here. Where was it, Blue? All right. You know what I'm doing right after that?
Moving that way.
I'm protecting.
Oh, that too. Well, guys, but I don't know. Can you hear me right now? I don't know if you can hear me. Right now you can hear me. Yeah, I'm that's what you're taught at a little league level, to protect the plate. Guys in the major leagues don't do that.
I mean, you can sit there, and he's right. It's not like Rengifo's wrong in that situation. No. He's completely right. None of those were strikes, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, either move closer to the plate or protect, foul it off to see another day. But guys in the MLB don't do that. I mean, there's a few. One of them that comes to mind is Bellinger. But guys in the MLB don't protect the plate anymore. They think they know, what's right and wrong. Which, granted, Rengifo was right every single strike call. But dude, you got it once, okay, fine. Twice, that's what he's calling. Yeah, like you're in the MLB. You have to know that's what he's gonna call. If it comes and if I'm Edwin Diaz, why would I not go back out there? Why would I not throw it in the same spot? Because I know I'm gonna get the call.
Or you're getting that call. Like
so there's a gamesmanship type of thing that I think that also kind of screwed him over.
In the scorebook, it doesn't go down as strikeout looking, but Rengifo was right. It's strikeout looking.
Strikeout looking and inning over.
If the first one was a strike and the second time the umpire calls it a ball, then sure. Because, I mean, now you don't know. Now he's being inconsistent, but at least you have in the back of your mind, maybe he just missed that first call.
Yeah, I mean, I always say it all the time. Like, I don't care what a guy's zone is necessarily, but just be consistent with it. And I don't know, whoever was behind the dish yesterday for the Mets and the Angels game was pretty consistent.
Consistently bad. Bad. And there's one more thing I want to say. When I was at the Met game the other day, they do the 5-borough mascot race now. They do all the mascots.
Oh, it's so stupid.
And the Bronx always loses. And at the beginning of the year, yes, it was petty. I completely acknowledge it was petty. But the beginning of the year, they would have the Bronx Giraffe be an asshole. And they'd have him hit the other mascots. And you could justify somebody coming in and screwing him at the end of the race. But he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
He's just better than the other mascots. He's faster than the other mascots. He's clean now. He is a good role model for your children, how he races around that warning track. And some celebrities always coming out and screwing this guy.
Yeah, dude,
I'm starting to feel bad for him.
On Monday night, it was WWE night, and I had Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton there, and then Nia Jax was helping out the Bronx Giraffe. and then I don't know where Tiffy's music plays and everything. She comes out with the steel chair and hits the giraffe in the stomach, and then the Mets the Queen's train won.
Oh my
It's
God.
it's funny. Don't get me wrong, but I feel bad for the giraffe.
He's not doing anything. The
No,
poor guy isn't doing anything wrong anymore. What the Mets are doing, what these celebrities doing are wrong.
it's
I don't
wrong.
care if he's from the Bronx. I don't care if the Philly Fanatic is in the race. If they are a clean racer and they're winning, let them win.
Yeah.
And how long is this going to go for? Say they do this mascot race for the next 5 years. What's
Bronx,
the over
Bronx,
or under on
Net
his win?
zero.
Half a win? I'll take
Half
the
a
under.
win. Yeah, it's never gonna win. I also have news. Breaking news. Hulk Hogan has
Oh.
passed away.
No, really?
Yes, 71 years old. Yeah.
Wow, Terry Francona, I think it was. Somebody said that he wasn't doing too well, and they said that he was at home. And wow, that is shocking. You know, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, but at the end of the day, this guy pioneered the WWF at the time, now WWE.
Legend. For his
Wow, rest
wrestling.
in
Legend for his wrestling.
wow, that is unbelievable. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. That's shocking because I knew he wasn't doing good, but and also the steroids that these guys take, all the partying they did, you know, they
It's
didn't
not
take
good
care of
for
their bodies.
no.
A lot of these older guys they're passing away young. A lot of them are passing away young. And it's unfortunate, but I think we're gonna see the same thing with those attitude era guys. Because they put their bodies through hell. And I can only imagine how drugged up they were to be able to take a steel chair to the head every night, you know?
Yeah.
But wow, that is shocking. All right, let's get out of here with some overreaction, underreaction. Before we start this, I didn't write these down as a believer of every single one of these overreaction, underreactions. This isn't Giuseppe's overreaction, underreaction. This is just a stupid freaking list that I've compiled up here. Okay, that's out of the way. Here we go. First one for you, Jeremy. With how the Brewers and Cubs have been this season, the Dodgers are just the third best team in the National League.
Maybe right now, but the Dodgers kind of did this last year too. They kind of went on a lull during the middle part of the season, and then still end up winning the World Series. Like, so they still don't have Sasaki, which granted he was kind of mid when he was pitching. But I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat out of the National League. No one's like circling the Brewers like, oh, this is the team to beat. Maybe the Cubs. Like I may be able to give you the Cubs, but I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat nationally. I think they have the best lineup. I think the pitching staff, when it's healthy, which it will get healthy, is still the cream of the crop, and they're still the favorite to win the World Series.
I think so too. I mean, you can always argue that the Dodgers rotation every single year is always depleted. They're depleted right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Shohei pitching definitely helps. And it's not even the Dodgers, slumping. Mookie Betts is having the worst season of his career by a long
playoffs, he's just going to turn it on again. That's what he does in the playoffs.
You hope so. You really hope so if you're the Dodgers and Mookie Betts. But, I mean, the pieces are there. But, this is the first time in a while that the National League feels like it's not the Dodgers to win right now. It really doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, that's a fair take. I can agree with that.
All right, here we go. Next one here. We have seen enough that the Blue Jays can hang with the top of the American League.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I mean, if you consider the Yankees the top of the American League, they're doing a pretty dang good job. I know I said it on Tuesday on the show. I'm like, I don't really know how good this team really is. Like, the metrics say they're not that good of a team compared to the way they're performing. But listen, I've never been a guy who just relies only on numbers. The eye test, in my opinion, is still the best thing to judge a player or a team and how I think personally they are. I think the Blue Jays are a really good team. I think they do the little things right, but they also have guys in the lineup who can give you the big time home run. And you need a Bichette, Guerrero, and they're doing this with all without Anthony Santander too. He's still hurt. I don't know when he's coming back, what his timetable looks like, but if and when they get him back on playoff time, I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think this is a really, really good baseball team.
If the Brewers add a premier bat at the deadline, like say they get a Suarez at the deadline, does that make them a World Series favorite?
The Brewers or the Blue Jays?
Brewers.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think getting any righty power bat will really just catapult that team. Not only in the lineup, but like kind of the whole morale of the clubhouse as well. Because they all, like we talked about the other, they're all a bunch of guys who have like a mid to low 700 OPS, and they all just kind of do the same thing. And they love it. Like it's kind of like the power of friendship. They bring in a new guy who can come in and be a big bopper for them, like Suarez, like Ozuna. I think that kind of propels them into that World Series contender territory.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I said it last episode. I really do view the Brewers as the regular season Warriors come October. They just do not have enough bats to get you there. But with how they've been hitting right now, if they can continue to hit like this, I mean, their defense and pitching will never be a problem as long as they all stay healthy. And if you add Suarez to that mix, yeah, look out. This is going to be a scary team, a very scary team. This will be the highest I've ever felt on the Brewers. But still, I got to see it. I need to see it. Okay. This might be the favorite one I came up with. If the Giants end up missing the playoffs this year, the Rafael Devers trade will go down as the dumbest move of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it'd be so stupid. Like, ever since they kind of got Devers, they haven't really been that good. Like, they were kind of on like a decline before they went and got him. And then they got him and they're still declining.
They've been on a steady decline since the first
Yeah.
month of the season, and they've been winning enough where you could have thrown it under the rug. But I really do think that the Giants front office was the blind leading the blind. Because I don't know how you watched the Giants team and thought to yourself that Rafael Devers was going to be the answer.
Yeah, he's never the answer when you need he's not a clubhouse guy. He's not a team first guy. It's just stupid. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's a stupid move.
And look at the Red Sox now. Sucked at first. They were really slumping without him, but they figured it out.
Surging right now.
They figured it out big time. Okay. I'm gonna ignore over the Suarez question because the more I think about it, this is what it was for everybody watching. Eugenio Suarez's lack of defense makes him an overhyped deadline target. I think that's only in the case of the Yankees. I don't think that's the case for anybody else. I think it's just because the Yankees defense has been so suspect that it's the only team that you can make that argument for. I don't really believe that.
I agree. I think the other 29 teams in Major League Baseball know how to field ground balls and throw baseballs, and like this whole thing called defense. I think they kind of like understand how it works. The Yankees don't. So for them, I'm not gonna say it doesn't make sense because again, he's still a premier power bat, and everyone can use that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have guys who don't play defense good, and you bring another guy who doesn't do defense good, it's not going to help you win. And in sports, you want to win. And if you don't win, it's not good.
Yeah, wow. Another incredible life lesson from Jeremy.
I'm just trying to dumb it down. Like maybe Aaron Boone and Cashman are watching. I'm trying to dumb it down for him.
Have you started seeing the TikToks of I saw for the Jets, if they listen to my dad through the TV, and it's just a slideshow of like LeBron dunking and it's like this like inspirational music playing in the background. I love that, dude. Like, I love how creative people can be. Okay. Last one here. The Houston Astros today may not be the American League favorite, but come October, they should be the most feared team in their league.
Yeah, I hate to agree with pretty much everything you say because that's never fun to run and watching. But yeah, I agree. Granted, they're not the favorite out of the American League, but they're under the radar. And if you're going to have the Astros be under the radar, that is probably exactly where they want to be because they were, the talk of the American League in the 2010s, especially like, the late 2010s from 2015 on, both obviously for winning, but also for the cheating scandal. But yeah, I think come postseason time, they're gonna get in. They're probably gonna win the division, and they went out sad last year in the wild card against Detroit. I don't see that happening again to them. They are a very, very good baseball team, and they know how to win in the playoffs. They still have Altuve. He's still a great leader, and he's clutch. So he's gonna and Jeremy Pena's becoming an absolute star in the MLB. The pitching staff is great. Then. Listen, they know how to win when it matters. They're going to be feared come playoff time.
I really do think that comparing the Astros last season to this season is so different because last season they were a team that was just trying to hang around and they ended up getting into the wild card. And they proved us all on why we shouldn't be high on them every year they get in. But this year just feels different. This has been a complete team for the majority of the year since May on, probably. They feel complete. This is the pitching staff. I mean, Framber Valdez isn't even your best pitcher in that rotation. And that's telling you a lot because he has been for the past few years now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's scary.
But yeah.
All right, last segment here. Have you ever seen Breadbasket before? You know who they are?
Yeah, I love those guys. Yeah.
You've seen them where they do like guess the item and you got to ask the questions, like not baseball related. Like you just got to ask like, could I get a beer with them or like something like that?
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to dumb it down. Okay. So I don't know if you want to get a pen and paper and write this down because I'm going to list you off some mascots here.
All right. Let me grab something.
You get your guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay, I get it now. I got you.
Okay.
So we're both right making a guy. I got you. All right.
Okay. And I'll let you go first.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Well, I'll let you guess first.
Okay. Let me just get my guy first.
And I'll list you off the mascots that I have for who you'll be guessing from.
All right. I have my guy. The guy, like, so you're guessing, try to find my guy?
I'm guessing trying to find your guy. You're guessing trying to find my guy. Do you want to do it where I give you options? Like I'm going to give you like 7 mascots to choose from? Or do you just want to do like, we'll just keep going until we get it right?
No, and we just keep going until someone gets it. Like just keep asking questions.
Okay. I'll let you start. I'll let you ask first.
Well,
I got my guy.
Is your mascot from the National League?
Yes.
Okay. So that's good. That's a good. That eliminates a lot of them.
Oh, now I ask you.
I think don't want to go back and forth, right?
Oh, we'll go back and forth. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here. Your mascot. Would you let this mascot babysit your kid?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't have much experience in either having children or having mascots babysit anyone, but yeah, I'd let this guy take care of my hypothetical kid.
Okay. That eliminates more than you think.
Yeah.
That eliminates more than you think. My guy's tough. I don't know if you're going to get my guy. I like my mascot.
All right. Is he from the NL West?
Yes. Wow.
Look at that.
Good pull.
Yeah, okay. Not every team in that division has a mascot.
Okay, your mascot, is he... I have to think about this one here. Would you say that your mascot, you could... Let's do golf. Would you think you would enjoy golfing with your mascot? Stay on the green with him.
Yeah, I think so. He seems like a really nice guy.
Okay.
Seems like he would be able to, walk 18. I like to walk when I golf. I think he'd be willing to walk 18.
He could walk the 18. That's big. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like he'd really enjoy it. I think I'd enjoy a day out on the golf course with my guy. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Your guy, like, you think he's a big like a big drinker? You think he likes to drink?
No. I think maybe an occasional social guy, but
yeah, I gotcha.
He seems very down to earth. He seems very clean. All right, here we go. Guy likes to golf. You trust him, babysit your kids. Would you say that your mascot? This is tough. Okay, here we go. Your mascot. Would you let him date your daughter?
Again, I don't know him that well, but I want to lean yes. He seems like a really stand-up guy.
Okay.
Cleans up really nice. He presents himself very well. So I think so.
I think I got it. I think I know who it is.
All right, well, I'm gonna ask: is your guy purple by any chance?
No, he's not purple, but that is the best mascot in the MLB.
Oh, I thought I had it. Gotta write down not purple.
All right. Here we go. I think I'm between two, actually, now I'm looking at this. I'm going to take a shot here. Is your guy Bonnie Brewer?
No, he's not
wow.
Bonnie.
Okay.
All right. So that narrows me down to 2 teams. If we're in the NOS, then he's not purple.
He's not purple.
So my next question, does he wear a Diamondbacks jersey?
No, does not wear a Diamondbacks jersey.
No Diamondbacks jersey. Okay.
Oh boy, I gotta get it here. That's it. You got it.
I think I have it.
Okay, here we go. Said he cleans up nice. So now I'm between two. You've been talking too good about him, but is it Mr. Met?
No, not Mr. Met. No,
No.
no, I did not choose Mr. Met today.
I was gonna say you're talking a little too highly for him to be Mr. Met.
No, I'm not a huge Mr. Met guy. He kind of creeps me out.
Love him. He's the man.
So I think by default, your mascot has to be Lucille from the Giants.
Lucille from the San Francisco Giants.
He's cool. He's a nice guy.
He's the guy, man. Met him a few times. Good dude. Good dude.
I think you get a rebuttal since I went first.
All right, here we go. I think because he said he cleans up nice, and that's why I'm looking around these mascots and just like who's like a well presented guy. You know who's well presented? You know what? I'm gonna stay in it. I just chose my answer. Mr. Red from Cincinnati.
No, I didn't go Mr. Red either. The guy's name does start with an M, but I went with Mariner Moose.
Mariner. Oh, that's a good guy. Mariner.
Yeah,
Moose,
he's a
good
nice guy. Well, he's I went to Utica. The logo's a moose.
Moose.
I
Smart. Okay, I got you.
I'm a big fan of Moose. Seems like a really nice moose, though. Like, again, golfing with him. I feel like he'd really have a good time. He may venture off into the woods, but he can find a bunch of balls out there.
It's a good dude. Good dude. I mean, I was going to go. This is funny. I'm looking at the mascots. The Kansas City Royals, they have like the cat, like the tiger, Slugger.
Yeah.
It's Slugger. This is how Wikipedia has it. Slugger with 3 R's, like Slugger. Really has to emphasize the slugging in his name.
Yeah, he must have really, really big slug.
Should make a rival mascot, and his name will be On Base.
Joe Meyer. Batting average.
Together they make OPS. All right. That's it. That's everything we have for you guys today. That'll do it from the No Good Takes podcast. Jeremy Horowitz, Giuseppe Oliveri, thank you so much for tuning in. Next episode will be the 15 episode milestone. Very exciting stuff. And yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Go check out Kevin Bunk's got the bunker. Mike has mic'd up. He's in North Carolina. Figured out where he's on vacation to. We have JM and Mike. They got the Hardline Sports Talk. They will definitely be more prominent come football season. Mike and Bunk together make up the Burrows. And go check out what Gabe is doing with the playbook. Thank you all so much for watching and listening wherever you may be getting this. Once again, Jeremy Horowitz, Giuseppe Oliveri signing off for the final time. Go baseball, and we'll see you guys all on Tuesday.